A chosen one, you didn't just happen to be here at this time. You were called. Your spirit is awake right now for a very good reason. Heaven doesn't move around randomly, and God doesn't speak without meaning to. This hour has been marked, timed, and let go. You're on the edge of a moment that was written a long time ago. It's a moment when the unseen meets the visible and things start to line up. Chosen one, there are times when God quietly gets ready and times when he acts quickly. It's not just any time. This is the appointed time. There is a time for everything under heaven, as Ecclesiastes 3:1 says, and Habakkuk 2:3 says that the vision is waiting for its time. But it won't wait until the right time. What you can feel is that waiting beginning to end. Blessed one, something is changing right now. Today, not just tomorrow or a long time from now, but in the hours and days that are coming up, faith is being stirred, burdens are being moved, and things that have felt heavy are being weighed differently in the spirit. This is a kairos moment, a divine interruption in which God speeds up something that couldn't move before. Also, remember this, chosen one, God doesn't always remind us by giving us answers or explanations. They can show up as stillness or a place of peace that the soul can go to when it needs to recharge. There is a small, quiet spot in the description for you to use if you ever need to rest there. Chosen one, what heaven saw this morning wasn't just the surface of your movement, it saw what it meant. You thought every morning was the same weight, the same unanswered questions, and the same quiet pressure in your chest. However, your rising was seen as resistance in a world you couldn't see. Not loud resistance or dramatic resistance, but the kind of resistance that only heaven can hear from a soul that won't go away. There are times when God doesn't need a sermon, a prayer circle, or a perfect confession. Instead, he responds to movement, and your movement spoke this morning. It spoke before words did. That thing spoke before it understood. There was talk before you knew what was going on. You got up when you were tired. You breathed even though you were sad. You kept going even though you weren't sure, and heaven leaned in. Please listen slowly, chosen one. Heaven didn't see a routine, it saw a plan. Heaven saw how much you thought about it. There were times when getting out of bed felt like the hardest thing of the day. Heaven saw the part of you that wanted to stay put and the part that said, "No, I know this place, I have stood there myself." When faith didn't feel strong in the morning, it felt stubborn. These are the mornings that make you who you are. There is a type of obedience that looks like it helps people stay alive. It doesn't feel holy or strong. It feels quiet, shaky, and unfinished. But Psalm 34:18 tells us that the Lord comforts the brokenhearted and saves those who are mentally crushed. Near doesn't mean approval from afar, it means involvement. Near means answer. Your rising this morning was more than just a physical sign, it was a spiritual one too. It was felt in the air. It was seen by the resistance. What you thought was just getting through the tiredness was really pulling back the darkness. You let people know without saying a word that your story wasn't over, and heaven answered this message. Chosen one, let me talk from experience. I've learned that the enemy fears quiet endurance more than loud faith. Loud faith changes with how you feel. Endurance that stays quiet. It keeps breathing even when prayers don't seem to be answered. It keeps moving even when it doesn't feel strong. That's why your simple choice to rise made a difference. No one didn't notice you this morning. You were marked. Not because you were perfect, but because you were there. Heaven doesn't judge you by how polished you are, it judges you by how hard you work. Heaven was proud of you for not stopping, even though you were making fun of how slow you felt. Heaven was calling it courage while you were calling it barely making it. Chosen one, God sometimes doesn't pay attention to what you say, but to what you do when no one is looking. Something changed when you decided to keep going, not because you had faith, but because you did it anyway. Faith like that moves slowly. Even though it doesn't say anything, it starts the alignment process. I want you to fully understand this. Today is more than just a day of support, it's also a day of awards. Heaven saw you get up with the weight. Heaven saw you stand there shaking. Heaven saw you choose God again without cheers, and that choice made things move. Doors that felt like they were stuck started to move. Personal resistance started to break down. Things don't change all at once, but they do start to move. Listen up, chosen one, you're almost there. That's not because you did something great, but because you were honest. God respects the fact that you came as you are. 1 Samuel 16:7 says that people look at how someone looks on the outside, but the Lord looks at the heart. This morning, heaven saw your heart and responded in kind. Most people miss this part. Power can flow through you even if you don't feel strong. Heaven will back you up even if you don't feel sure of yourself. You did the right thing by refusing to give up. You didn't pass out. You didn't go away, you got up. Before we continue, just a brief moment. Many of you have written to me asking about the Bible I read from, the resources I lean on in prayer. Everything is linked in the description below. The large print Bible that opens the Word clearly and beautifully, and a guided ebook on the life and journey of Christ, written to draw you deeper into Him. These are not just products. These are tools I carry in my own walk with the Lord. Visit the shop through the link below, and if anything there brings you closer to Jesus, all glory to Him. Leave your thoughts in the comments. We read every word. Now let us continue. Together, chosen one, this is where momentum starts, not with fireworks, but with faith in the face of stress. Strength you didn't expect, clarity you didn't force, and provision that finds you instead of the other way around are just some of the things that will happen because of what you did today. Heaven responds to alignment, and obedience that seems normal is the first step toward alignment. Hold on to this truth as we go deeper. What you did this morning meant more than you know, and heaven is still responding. Chosen one, what started moving this morning didn't stop when you stood up. It kept going after you took your first breath, got ready for the day, and told yourself you'd make it through it. It's not just flashes that heaven responds to, it responds over time. What you set in motion is still happening, quietly moving things around that you've been praying about, but don't know what to call them. Pressure always rises before it drops, which is why resistance felt heavier before today. Being close to someone meant that the weight you've been feeling wasn't punishment. You were closer to breakthrough than your emotions let you know, and your enemy planned for you to be so tired that you would think nothing was changing. But when you got up anyway, you changed that story. You didn't just get through the morning, you also messed up a plan that was supposed to make you wait. Chosen one, I want to talk to you as someone whose faith has looked like being tired and trusting God even though there was no proof. Some days I thought nothing had changed, but I later found out that heaven had been quietly moving things around in the background, moving people, changing the times, and getting ready for access were all things that were going on. It felt like nothing was there at the time. The truth is that it was construction. Your patience this morning turned into a sign, not a sign of desperation, but a sign of readiness. Heaven doesn't let promotion lead to chaos, it lets it lead to alignment. And alignment is shown when you stay true even when things get hard. You didn't just make it through the pressure, you stayed put. That's why God noticed. Chosen one, don't think that God can't do something with a heart that keeps picking him out in the dark. In the book of Daniel, chapter 10, it says that Daniel's words were heard from the first day he set out to understand. Take note of this. The answer came out before the result could be seen. Before Daniel felt better, heaven moved. In the same way, your choice to keep going let motion go before you could feel it. Today is the day you stop waiting and get in alignment. I want you to anchor this shift right now. Write "I accept my shift" in the comments to show that you are ready for heaven to do something for you. Something that seemed immovable is starting to loosen up. It could be financial stress that has lasted longer than expected, doors that shut without a reason, or chances that seem to be put off for no reason. That doesn't mean everything changes right away. What I mean is that resistance has been weakened. It's no longer stuck, so things that couldn't move before can now. Dear chosen one, divine transfer doesn't always come as sudden wealth. Sometimes it comes as access. It sometimes comes as a favor. It's not always the right conversation at the right time. One call, one idea, or one moment of clarity that came after I refused to give up on a hard morning was how I saw God change whole seasons. This is how heaven works. This morning, your persistence paid off, not because God needs proof, but because alignment makes ways clear. Heaven responds to actions that show faith. When things got tough, you spoke without words that God was still your source, and as soon as that statement spread, help started to show up. Chosen one, the enemy wanted you to think of defeat right away, because that mood sets the tone for the whole day. But you messed up that plan. You didn't need to pray out loud. The words you used were fine. It was enough that you chose to keep going. Ephesians chapter 6 tells us that we stand because we have done everything. It's not passive to stand, it's active resistance. What you thought was small had an effect. The sound of your breath became a statement. Your movement turned into war. You were pushed to your limits by forces you couldn't see. Hell doesn't fear being perfect. It fears people who don't give up. It is scared of the soul that won't fold up even when things don't make sense. This morning, that was you. Yes, you have been chosen. You are not late, you are not behind, or you have been forgotten. Heaven isn't rushing to get your life back on track, it's planned. You thought the delay was actually getting ready. You were being positioned by the pressure you felt. And today was a change because you stayed present even though you were tired. There is promotion going on right now, but not the kind that makes you feel good about yourself. This is promotion that brings stability, provision, and peace. People who can carry a lot without losing their humility are praised by God. He gives more to those who stayed faithful even when there wasn't much to see. That's why following orders was important. Hold this pose as we move forward. Do not rush. Do not try. If God has already said something, don't question it. Today, walk with the knowledge that something has changed, even if you can't say what it is. If you have faith, heaven will answer you, and it has already started to do so. As we go on, remember this: what moved this morning will keep moving, and what has been delayed is closer than it has ever been. Chosen one, your spirit is awake right now for a reason, even though your body is still tired. Knowing something before seeing proof is what happens when heaven starts to move on your behalf. You can feel it before you see it. There's a quiet knowing that's strong enough to hold you down, but not loud enough to explain. It's not your imagination, that's just things getting in line. This morning, what you did wasn't just a response, it was recognition. Heaven saw that you were willing to give more, not because you have everything together, but because you stayed open when things got tough. God doesn't give more power, provision, or understanding to people who only act when things are going well. Instead, He gives it to people who stay faithful even when things seem unstable. Beloved, pause with me for just a moment. These messages you receive, they are not made by algorithm. They are made by hands, by hearts, by faith, and it is only possible because of people like you. If this ministry has blessed you, the link below is where you can sow a seed. Every gift, no matter how small, God sees it. God remembers it. Now let us continue. Okay, chosen one, let's bring this back to earth for a second. There were times in my life when I prayed for breakthrough because I thought it would bring me comfort. Instead, it came first as responsibility, more knowledge, more wisdom, and more calls to make smart decisions. I thought nothing was wrong at the time. When I looked back, I saw that everything had changed. God had raised my abilities before He changed my situation. This is a common way for supernatural things to move. The thing doesn't just fall into your hands. You have to work at getting it in the right place. Your way of thinking changes. You can't handle as much chaos. You're not as willing to compromise, and you start to see what doesn't fit anymore. That's not loss, that's getting better. Heaven is making you strong enough to handle what's coming without being crushed by it. Chosen one, you are now in a stage where discernment turns into protection. Your faith helped you get to where you are now, and it will help you make your choice. Things that look like chances won't always come together in a good way. You won't be able to walk through every open door, but heaven will show you the way. The same God who saw you rise will make sure you stay on your feet. In Ecclesiastes chapter 3, it says that God makes everything beautiful at the right time. Right time doesn't mean hurried, it means ready. What has been growing inside you is now fully formed. That's why resistance got stronger. That's why confusion tried to take hold. When the enemy is close, they press the hardest. Chosen one, don't think that pressure means you've failed. Stress shows how close something is. When gold is close to the surface, it is refined and not left behind. What you felt yesterday wasn't regression, it was getting ready for release. As the release starts, I want you to notice something useful in the days to come, even if it feels soft. Pay attention to what seems lighter. Pay attention to the things that used to interest you but no longer do. Pay attention when decisions that seemed hard at first become clear all of a sudden. There is no chance in these events. They are signs of recalibrating. This is easier for you because of heaven. Chosen one, supernatural promotion often looks like peace, not adrenaline or excitement, just a calm confidence that doesn't need to be proven. When you walk through that peace, doors open for you without having to push them open, people act differently, and provision flows more easily. Getting aligned leads to this. I want to tell you the truth. Because I was waiting for fireworks, I almost missed God's start of this change in my life. I was hoping for a big surprise. I felt calmer, more stable, and more connected to the ground. I didn't understand that stability was the miracle until much later. Blessings last as long as things are stable. We have reached the point where quiet faith turns into active agreement. I want you to say that you are ready for the stability that God is bringing into your life. Type, "I am grounded in God's peace," in the comments below to align your heart with the divine order that is taking place right now. Chosen one, heaven is not just giving you something. It is also making you into the person you are becoming. You are getting ready to lead what comes next. Whether it's more money, more responsibility, more power, or more joy, it will come to you in a way that makes you stronger, not weaker. Don't rush through this. Do not try to get rid of the question. Believe what God has already said. You are ready because you got up this morning, and being ready brings provision. Keep your heart open and your pace steady as we go deeper. Things will keep going exactly as they are, and you'll get the clarity you need at the right time, not a moment too soon. Chosen one, there is a holy tension when the promise is clear, but the timing is unknown. This is where a lot of people get tired, not because they don't have faith, but because they've been using their faith every day without seeing any gain. Not failure or doubt, but endurance. This is the ground you are standing on right now. Heaven is not confused by how tired you are. God doesn't mind that you're tired. You are being asked to carry a quiet kind of strength this season, not a loud kind of strength. It's the kind of strength that shows up again tomorrow, the kind that keeps choosing alignment even when the fun is over and the days look normal. Anointed one, this is where being present is important. Return lets you walk through doors that revelation opens. Moments alone aren't enough to keep you aligned. You also need to remember what God already confirmed when your feelings change, and go back to the truth when your emotions try to change it. There are times when faith is strong and times when it is weak. Both are important. Heaven doesn't just honor your best times, it also honors your coming back. Going back to prayer when words don't seem enough. Going back to trust when things are still being planned out. Going back to God when nothing important has happened yet. Dear chosen one, I have learned that waiting is not a waste of time. It is a time for growth. When we wait, what we lean on becomes clear. It shows if we trust God only when things are moving or when they are still. And this isn't a test meant to wear you out, it's a shape meant to keep you steady. During this time, you are not meant to strive, you are meant to stay. Hold on tight, do not harden, stay in touch. You don't have to chase the promise, all you have to do is stay aligned while it finds you. For that reason, the work feels inside right now. God is making your inner life stronger so that whatever comes your way won't throw you off balance. Dear Anointed One, there are times when you don't feel spiritual at all. These things feel repetitive, unnoticed, and uncelebrated. But this is when trust turns into muscle memory, faith turns into a posture instead of an emotion, and obedience turns into a feeling instead of an action. I want to tell you the truth. During some times, I didn't need another explanation. I didn't need any more lessons. One familiar truth, one steady word, something small enough to hold on to when everything else felt heavy. A lot of Christians have been to this place, the place where you go back to the Bible not to figure it out, but to find a single line that makes you feel stable for the day. That kind of return, chosen one, is holy. It's not weakness, it's smarts. There is also a quiet reminder in the description and the pinned comment for times like that, in case you ever need something to come back to. Listen carefully. People are aware of your consistency. Every day that you live in alignment is adding up. Each quiet yes adds weight to what can't be seen. The delay isn't making your faith weaker, it's making it stronger. Things that are coming together now will hold what's coming later. Heaven doesn't hurry things that need to last, and God doesn't let go of things that you aren't ready to carry yet. Right now, that grounding is happening through patience, repetition, and trust that doesn't need to be reassured all the time. Chosen one, don't judge this season by how exciting it is. Instead, judge it by how stable it is, by how quickly you recover, how quickly peace returns, and how easily you react. You are becoming more like the promise because of these signs. They mean that you are no longer just believing in it. You're not going around and around the same ground, you're pushing your roots deeper. Roots grow in darkness, not in bright lights. What you can't see right now is what will help you when visibility grows. Stay here, stay in the present, stay with what you already know to be true. There isn't as much work to do this season as there was last, but it's still there. That is very important, and it shapes what will happen next. Dear family, if this message found you today, it was not by chance. God directed your steps here. These videos bring us no income, no platform, no support except yours. If you feel led, your seed of love keeps this light alive for thousands of chosen ones around the world. And there is a family waiting for you, brothers and sisters who arrived broken, arrived searching, and found belonging. The link is in the description. Come home, beloved. You were always meant to find us. Chosen one, what has been growing inside you starts to lean outward at some point in every divine unfolding. It doesn't happen quickly or in a showy way, it just happens. This is that stage. The ground under you has been sinking, and now you can put weight on it without seeing it fall apart. The thing that is coming at you won't test you. It will come to rest on what has already been set. You might first notice small changes. Things change for you before they change for the situation. Triggers that are old start to slip. You're not as emotionally drained by conversations as you used to be. You start to see what fits without having to argue about it with yourself. These aren't small changes. They mean that your authority is becoming more stable. Anointed one, supernatural transfer isn't just about what gets into your hands. It's also about what you can't get to. Heaven doesn't just make more things available, it also makes limits clearer. When God is ready to give more, He often quietly gets rid of things that are getting in the way. Things go away without a fuss. There is no conflict as connections fade. Wants change without any reason. This is not loss, but safety. There is a reason why you don't feel the need to explain yourself as much, why you don't want to prove where you are going, and why you don't react as much to misunderstandings. Authority doesn't make a fuss, it just sits there. Once it does, your spirit will be quieter because it won't be arguing about where it is. I want you to understand this, chosen one, that you are moving into this new phase is not meant to impress other people. It is meant to establish you in peace, establish you in sufficiency, and establish you in clarity. When God blesses, He doesn't mean to overwhelm, but to hold on to. That's why what comes next won't feel crazy, but rather stable. You have been loyal with things that didn't seem important, with work that wasn't noticed, and with trust that wasn't seen. That faithfulness has been weighed, not in terms of how quickly it was shown, but in terms of how much it meant. The Bible tells us that those who are trustworthy with little are given more. That principle doesn't drive people, it shapes things. Heaven works with weight, not noise. Let them know that you are ready for what comes next if you have been faithful when no one was looking. In the comments below, write, "I am ready for divine increase," to show that you are ready to lead this new season with strength and humility. Anointed one, the waiting taught you how to choose wisely. The endurance taught you to hold back. Days of peace taught you to depend on others, to manage growth without losing yourself, without getting tough, and without mixing up momentum and purpose. You need these traits. There will likely be times when things move faster than you thought they would, but not in a frantic way. If that happens, remember what brought you here in the first place. Do not give up the position that kept you going. You will get through movement with the same return that got you through waiting. Chosen one, divine provision often comes in the form of a chance that needs your smarts. In some cases, it may ask you to change how you spend your time. You might have to say no to things that you used to think you had to do. If it tells you to move forward, you may not need to be seen completely. Have faith that the same God who lined you up in stillness will also lead you when you move. I'd like to be clear here. I was looking forward to feeling better when my season changed from waiting to moving. First, I was given responsibility, not pressure, but stewardship. I learned that when my prayer is answered, I have a choice. The length of the blessing depends on the choice I make. This is why getting ready is important. You are not being pushed into the next phase. Instead, you are being invited to walk with awareness, carry provision with humility, and move with clarity instead of impulse. Heaven isn't testing your speed, it's making sure you're ready. Dear chosen one, what is being sent is not fragile. If you move slowly, it won't break. If you stay grounded, it won't go away. No more scrambling for things. Stable building is now possible. This does not mean slowly, it means for a long time. Look at what makes you feel strong right now, what doesn't drain you, and what gives you calm confidence instead of adrenaline. You won't have to change into someone else to hold what's coming your way if you see these signs. Stay in this position while we go on. The grounding you've done will help you understand the next step, and what happens next will show that nothing in this season has been wasted. If you are chosen, heaven will let you know when the season has really changed. This isn't always marked by noise. Sometimes it's marked by permission, allowing yourself to breathe without bracing, the freedom to plan without worrying about being interrupted, allowing you to go forward without having to check behind you. Get ready for this permission to settle around you. The ground you're stepping on is not weak. It doesn't need to be protected all the time. Alignment, not effort, backs it up. Discernment is taking the place of the striving that used to feel necessary. You don't have to knock on every door anymore. The right ones will open for you. That's power at work, not ambition. This is where alignment turns into action. Hold on a second and then type, "Divine favor opens my doors," in the space below. These words should make you want heaven to clear away any problems that are getting in your way today. Anointed One, the change you're feeling is your inner confirmation catching up with the outside world. You were convicted for a long time without any proof. You trusted without being told to. You obeyed without being told to. That time made you better. Once someone is found guilty, evidence will start to come in, not to prove you right, but to back up what you already know. There will be times when you want to move faster than your mind allows, just because momentum feels strange after waiting. Gently fight that urge. Things that are already in place don't need to be rushed. When acceleration comes from heaven, it doesn't feel frantic. It feels clear, timed, and right. Chosen One, notice how making choices starts to require less emotional work. What used to require days of stress and prayer now ends peacefully. Not because you don't care as much, it's just that things are clearer now. Being aligned can lead to clarity as a first gift. When there is less chaos, there is peace. You may notice that people react to you differently now, not because you are louder, but because you are more stable. Not because you are asserting your authority, but because you hold it. People know who is in charge when they see it, and that favor comes naturally when someone is in charge. Anointed One, this is where stewardship is most important. Not just stewardship of money, but also stewardship of time, attention, and energy. What God gives you next will require you to protect your inner environment. You won't have to cut yourself off from life, but you will have to stay rooted in what kept you stable when nothing was happening. I want to be honest about this. Success can test you in more subtle ways than waiting ever could. I learned this when doors started to open in my own life. Longevity is tested by waiting, and restraint is tested by moving. It checks to see if you can stay aligned when there are more choices. This is why the work you did in silence is so important. Now, Chosen One, don't mix up being available with being assigned. Every invitation isn't a good fit. You can't take every chance that comes your way. The Spirit that helped you through endurance will also help you through discernment. Trust that pause inside. Have faith in that check. It's not doubt, it's knowledge. What is being set up now won't require you to give up your values in order to keep it up. It is not provision if something asks you to give up peace. Don't get gifts from heaven that break the thing they're in. What is meant for you won't pull you back into old ways of surviving. It will help you become the person you want to be. Anointed One, the next phase will reward you more for being consistent than for being intense. Keep showing up. Make a smart pick. Talk less. Look around more. Let the fruit do the talking. You don't have to defend what God is building. Time will show that it is true. You might still feel tired sometimes. That doesn't mean you can't win. Being tired doesn't mean you're not on track. It just means you're human. To rest is not to hide. To rest is to keep up. Even God took a break after making the world, not because he was done for good, but because work needs a rhythm to keep going. Now that you've been chosen, you can take your time. From proving to stewarding, from holding on to establishing, and from hoping to getting ready, the sense of urgency has changed. This is a different kind of duty, and you're ready for it because that's how you were made. During this phase, stay present. Make sure you know what to do next. Let peace set the pace for you. Let gratitude hold you down. The next thing that happens will feel less like a breakthrough and more like arrival, not arrival at the goal, but arrival in the right lane. As things continue to go on, you will realize something very important. The things that used to scare you are now proof that you can handle what is being let go of. Realizing that will make you steady, and once you're steady, the next step will just happen on its own. Chosen one, there is a moment of peace that comes after alignment and clarity have taken hold. This is the point at which you realize you are no longer ready for impact. You are standing. You are not tense or guarded, you are just there. This is where authority is lived, not just said to exist. You might notice that the way you talk to yourself has gotten softer. It's not as important to explain yourself, defend your pace, or explain your choices anymore. We're not pulling away, this is quiet confidence. When God establishes you, you don't need to be told over and over again that you're good. Even though no one else can see it yet, you know where you are. Blessed one, this stage is about trust growing into responsibility. You are no longer waiting for permission. You are being given the freedom to make decisions on your own, knowing when to move and when to stop. You are being trusted to handle the things that have been given to you without needing to be watched every step of the way. Without hard work, this trust wouldn't have been there overnight. You didn't think anyone would notice your dedication. There will be times when you understand that doors are opening for you because you're ready, not because you asked them to. This is the kind of favor that gets things done, not the kind that gets people's attention. Beloved, just for a moment, I want to be honest with you. These messages are not sponsored, not supported by any platform. They exist because of faithful hearts like yours. If this ministry has touched you, the link is waiting for you. Look in the description below this video or find it pinned in the first comment. God sees every seed. Now let us continue. Things run more smoothly. It's easier to push through. There is now cooperation where there was once silence. These are signs that God is behind you, chosen one. Don't rush to figure out what every move means. Some confirmations are meant to be felt, not thought about. Thoughts that are too broad can take you away from the present. Do not lose sight of what is happening right now. Be thankful to keep you balanced. One of the best ways to keep blessings stable is to be thankful. I'd like to be clear here. When things in my life started to change, the first thing I thought was, how long will this last? That question comes from memories of how to survive, not from the present. You don't have to worry about going backwards when alignment is keeping what is happening going. This is not momentum that is built on work. It is structure that supports movement. Dear Anointed One, your humility is not a mistake. It is a shield. Pride moves quickly. Being humble listens. Being humble takes time. Being humble keeps the heart open to learning, even as power grows. That's why what's coming out won't make you bad. You already know how to carry a lot of weight without getting too heavy. Some people may still not get the path you're on. Let them. Alignment does not need understanding. Assignment doesn't need to be approved. You are not here to persuade, you are here to follow through. Your life will say things that words could never say. Watch how peace filters through you, chosen one. Decisions that hurt peace show how out of line they are. You no longer have to argue about each choice. What fits will feel right on its own, and what doesn't will just fall away. This is the development of discernment into instinct. You are now in a season when fruit will start to show up in a noticeable way. It won't happen all at once or in a big way, but it will happen slowly over time. When it does, remember what kept you steady. Go back to the position that helped you wait. Take care of success the same way you took care of endurance. Anointed one, heaven doesn't want to separate you from God. It wants to bring you closer. When you take on more responsibility, you need to get closer, not farther away. Stay in touch. Stay in touch. Hold on to the quiet confidence that got you here. The way you live now shows that alignment works, that faith shown through consistency leads to stability, and that obedience without praise still leads to reward. You are no longer guessing, you are walking with awareness. Hold this truth close as we move on to the next thing. You are not alone in this season. The hand that helped you wait is now helping you move, and the stability you feel right now is proof that you are where you are supposed to be. Dear chosen one, there is a stillness that comes just before fulfillment becomes clear. It's not the stillness of waiting anymore, it's the stillness of readiness, where nothing feels rushed or held back. Right now you are in this place, set, steady, and present. Heaven has been building something through you that isn't just temporary momentum. It's the kind of momentum that keeps going even when the seasons change. You are not defined by what you went through, you are defined by how you handle what is happening. You've already gone through that change, even though the whole picture hasn't shown up yet. Please understand this, anointed one. The reward was never just the result. The reward was the build-up. Your faith grew stronger, your reactions grew softer, and your trust grew both quieter and stronger at the same time. These are not side effects. They are signs that you can handle what comes next. Soon, you'll know that your prayers were answered not because of something big that happened, but because something is no longer weighing you down. Fear that was there before goes away. Anxiety that used to make you upset loses its power. The way you live your days gives you a sense of stability that words can't describe. That is the inheritance taking its place. Before we continue, just a brief moment. Many of you have written to me asking about the Bible I read from, the resources I lean on in prayer. Everything is linked in the description below. The large print Bible that opens the Word clearly and beautifully, and a guided ebook on the life and journey of Christ, written to draw you deeper into Him. These are not just products. These are tools I carry in my own walk with the Lord. Visit the shop through the link below, and if anything there brings you closer to Jesus, all glory to Him. Leave your thoughts in the comments. We read every word. Now let us continue. Together, chosen one, heaven doesn't always say that the work is done. It can just let you go into it sometimes. You pay more attention to what feels good in your spirit and less to what other people are doing or how you feel about the timing of things. That shift wasn't an accident, it's proof. You are moving into a time when your actions will speak louder than your words, when consistency will win out over excitement, and when people will know what you carry without you having to say a word. It's not because you've reached the end, it's because you've reached stability. I want you to understand this completely. Everything you went through was worth it. Not the days of waiting, being tired, or being alone when faith seemed normal. Each return was important. Every second of endurance was important. Consistency is important to heaven. It builds on it. Blessed one, you don't need to strain forward right now. What's in line with you should meet you where you are. Keep walking with a humble heart. Keep listening before you do anything. Pick peace over pressure again and again. These options will keep what is given to you safe. Some days you might want to take a moment to remember how far you have come. Do not stay there. While being thankful is good, your attention should now be on the present, not the future. What is taking shape will show itself at the right time without your help. Chosen one, this is the end of one movement and the beginning of another. It's not noisy but sure, it's not striving but graceful. There is nothing fragile under your feet. You are stepping into something strong. Stay on the ground. Keep an open mind. Stay faithful in the everyday. The extraordinary doesn't need to be sought after, it comes to you. And as you move forward, let this truth sink in. You are not waiting for heaven to answer. Heaven has already done it. You are now walking out what you let go of when you chose to rise. As this moment comes to an end, chosen one, take this truth in with clarity and peace. What heaven acknowledged this morning has not gone away. It has began. You are in your Kairos moment, which is the exact point where timing and obedience meet. This is when God responds not to noise, but to quiet, consistent faith. What has started will continue to unfold precisely, and what has moved won't go back to where it was. Your sense of the transfer, anointed one, was real, not imagined and not delayed. This is already a turning point in the eyes of heaven. Now walk forward with respect, not a sense of urgency, and with hope, not worry. Stay in line, be thankful. Pay close attention to the small signs of approval that will show up in everyday life and in ways you least expect them. God is already letting go, so you don't need to push it. Take this anointing with you today and be humble and sure of yourself. Choose peace when you make your choice. Keep your steps steady with faith. Allow gratitude to get you ready for what's coming your way. There is no need to wait for permission. You are walking in confirmation. If this word speaks to you, you can mark this moment by leaving a comment, subscribing, or sharing this message, not as a transaction, but as agreement, so that this statement can reach others who are standing at the right time. There is also a quiet spiritual reminder ready for times when you need to come back, not for an explanation, but for stability. After that, take a moment to read both the description and the pinned comment and pay attention to what was written there. Now you can go in peace, chosen one. Heaven has seen you. God in heaven has answered. And what started this morning will go on with God's grace, power, and favor.